Okay, it is June 26th. It's a Monday. We took last week off just to get some stuff done, and we're going to talk about the submarine events that happened. Was that last week? Was that like a week
Yeah,
ago?
dude, that was last week, bro. A
Okay.
week ago.
I didn't
This is some
introduce anything
crazy
or
stuff, dude.
anybody.
I mean, like,
This is
like I
the
know these guys don't have. Okay, okay, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
I was
no,
gonna
no.
say
Okay, that's cool. I'm sorry.
this is the American Micro
Go
Podcast.
ahead.
I'm Anthony Pago, and this is Rodney Hubbard. I'm sitting in Oklahoma City, and you're still in Baltimore, right? Where you sitting at right now,
Yeah, I'm still
Rodney?
in
Are you in
Baltimore.
Baltimore? Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Okay, so
this.
now,
Uh, uh, yeah, I'm in Baltimore.
cool. So
Yeah,
what did
bro.
you
So
what
okay,
did you learn about the
you
pressures?
know,
Read me the pressure stuff.
okay. Let me start. Okay, okay. Hold on. Let me go back. Water pressure at ocean depths. Okay. So okay, hold on. Let me view. So water pressure in the deep is one of the many is one of the many phenomenon was one of the many phenomena researchers must contend with when exploring deep sea sites. The ocean is deep. No, really? It says that right here. The ocean is deep. That's what it says.
Yeah,
If we shaved off all the continents, and I swear to God, really? I didn't know that. Anyways, if we shaved off all the continents, and filled the trenches in the oceans with the Earth from the continents, the entire globe would be covered with about 2 miles in would be covered with about 2 miles in depth. So the average ocean depth is 12,566 feet, about which is about 3,800 meters. What effect? What effect does this great depth of water have on things living in the ocean? The answer depends on where in the ocean it lives. A fish or a plant near the surface feels little effect from the great depths. It matters little if there is 6 feet or 6,000 feet beneath a swimming fish. An animal living at 10,000 feet depth, however, is greatly influenced by the depth of the water over it. We often speak of pressure in terms of atmospheres. One atmosphere is equal to the weight of Earth's atmosphere at sea level, about 14.6 pounds per square inch. If you're at sea level, each square inch of your surface is subjected to a force of 14.6 pounds. The pressure increases about 1 atmosphere for every 10 meters of water depth. At a depth of 5,000 meters, the pressure will be approximately 500 atmospheres or 500 times greater than the pressure at sea level.
that's crazy.
I mean, so, and these guys were 2 miles below the ocean, bro.
Yeah. One of the experts that I listened to, like the day that they made the announcements that they're dead, that they consider them lost, he said that the pressure where they had their event occur by the Titanic debris field, uh, the pressure is basically equivalent to having um, the entire Empire State's buildings worth of weight on pressed onto you from all sides. So there's like it's instantaneous. I wish I would
Nah,
have like written
it's not
down the
happening, bro.
whenever that like air pocket or whatever collapses, it creates heat, a significant amount of heat that they said is like something like heats that are reached inside a star, inside the sun. So I'm guessing there wasn't. Oh yeah, there was
Jesus.
a little discussion about like how fast the brain can register pain, and the implosion and destruction of their bodily tissues would have happened too fast for their brain to even recognize it. So that's fantastic, but still not very comforting that like this thing could have been avoided, right? Like it didn't need to happen. What are your
Oh, bro,
oh
imagine. Okay, you and I are sitting in a no, no. You and I are sitting in a bar. Some dude comes up to us. a friend of ours. Let's say he's a friend of ours. It's like, hey man, I've got this we're going on this adventure, and doesn't matter what it is. He explains that it's going to be, a treacherous situation, but if we get through it, we'll we'll all be better off for it. So what was it about? We're going to get on. We're going to get in a sub or this submersible, and we're going to go see the Titanic. I'm like, no, man, no, no. I've got
Yeah.
billions of dollars. I can go do anything I want to do, man. I'm not going 30 leagues. No, I'm not doing that. That's what I think,
Yeah.
dude. Like, you want to build a tube and go into outer space. You want to, dude. Look, friends of mine are like, hey man, you want to go surfing? I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good. Hey man, you want to go for a hike up in? Nah, man, I'm good. Hey man, you want to go? No, I'm good, bro. 6 years, I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need it. Why on you? You have nothing else better to do with your money.
Right. Yeah. And
Are you kidding me? Now, that being said, which is just as crazy,
repeat that last thing. What'd you say?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I couldn't understand you. You cut out for a second.
I joined the Marine Corps, which was. Oh no. I said I joined the Marine Corps, which is, it's kind of like a death wish. Like, why would you join the Marine Corps? Like, what are you kidding?
Right.
It's the same thing, kind of, sort of. But after you do something like that, and you look around, and you're like, you know, like it blows my mind when I'm out and people aren't looking over their shoulder. They don't, dude, look, I understand the mindset of wanting to explore, to be an explorer, to further or just push your limits. You know what I mean? But I also understand, you know, once you've pushed those limits, I've done it, dude. I've pushed my limits. I'm good, brother. I'm good. The dude, one of the guys on that, he was 77 years old. He was 77, and he'd been down there like a dozen times. I'm like, what were the parameters? What were the parameters, or what were the code? Do you know anything about the codes of the ship, or codes of the submersible, or do you know anything about that?
I looked a little bit into that. There are supposed to be codes. So you're supposed to have, I forget what it's called, kind of like a mothership like above, so that if anything happens to do communication and stuff like that, like there's supposed to be like a mothership. And whenever you get into research like this and you're deep diving with submersible and having a mothership, you're supposed to have permits. So there's a permitting process, and those permits have certain requirements, and all of that is under the purview of the Department of Transportation and the Coast Guard. So those are the two, and there's like the requirements or whatever were set up in like 1995, so they're pretty old. And I think that there's like some like technicalities where they skirted around some of this because it's a new type of submersible, and it's like smaller and yada yada yada. So I think that he didn't have to go through a lot of the same hoops that like James Cameron did with like his big submersible. So yeah, I mean, okay. So are you familiar with the Boeing? How Boeing's related to this whole incident? Have you heard about this?
No, no, not at all, not at all.
Okay. So this guy, Stockton Rush, that's the CEO of Ocean Gate. What was the name of the company? Ocean Gate Expeditions.
Hmm.
Stockton Rush,
Yeah,
considers
Ocean Gate.
himself he considers himself primarily like a businessman. I think he made his money from private like flights, like doing private, jet setting and stuff for like rich people. Um, and he had like a net worth
Mhm.
of like 25 million or something like that. And he talks a lot in his interviews about this Ocean's Gate submersible program, saying that he wanted to subsidize the costs of it by bringing on vacationers, basically like rich people going down to check out the Titanic. He said that's one of the only places that people would pay to go see. So that's how this program got started. But he built this sub like kind of on his own. It's like a DIY kind of thing as opposed to like getting the experts together and listening to what they said. So the experts like he's quoted as saying something along the lines of um, like you're remembered for the rules you break, and he's talking about an innovation and inventing, and he says in that same interview, he says that like they tell you not to mix fiberglass and titanium, and I did it. So he's bragging in this interview about mixing like things that you're not supposed to mix, as far as like being able to withstand atmospheric pressure like down in the ocean, and to top it all off, the the fiberglass cylinder material that he picked up, he bought it from Boeing, and he got it like basically on sale because it was being like discarded or whatever. It was reduced in price by Boeing because it was too old. It was expired. So he bought some like expired like weak material to make the cost cheaper on his submarine that's going down to the Titanic. Royally
You
stupid.
know, I'll just never, I'll never. Oh my god, dude! I'll just never understand it, dude. I'll just, you know, look, you know, what was that Englishman who said Livingston, I presume, or
uh,
whatever it was.
yeah,
You're in the
in
deepest,
Africa,
darkest part
like
of Africa.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
can't remember
So,
his name though.
and I think is it Livingston?
Well,
Livingston, I presume.
right, but who's the guy
But
saying that?
there you
Yeah.
are, and I'm gonna look it up here real quick.
Okay.
Livingston, I presume. Hold on. Oh.
According to Google Books, a story of Dr. Livingstone's travels in Africa in search of the source of the
Morton
Nile.
Stanley.
Okay.
A famous greeting on Henry Morton Stanley upon locating Dr. Livingston, I presume. But anyways, so there you are in the deepest, darkest part of Africa. Your name is Morgan Stanley or whatever. And you go, Livingston. I presume, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool. Okay, so what does that lead to? It just leads to, you know, the unbelievably calculated destruction and annihilation of people that you deemed unnecessary just because you wanted all of the riches and all the natural you know wealth that came from the earth in Africa. And so you went to Africa and you exploited millions and millions and millions of people, hundreds of millions of people. And now, you know, you're in a situation where, for the last 400 or 500 years, you're going to the, like, dude, you're going to the moon. Did you really go to the moon? Yeah, you went to the moon. You're going to Mars. You're going to, you're sending off this satellite past the galaxy with Chuck Berry's the song. I can't remember the song that Chuck Berry. Roll Over Beethoven is the name of the song they have on the
Is that like a Voyager?
on
Was that
the
a Voyager
the boy,
satellite?
yeah. So I mean, I understand exploration, but when it becomes, when your 19-year-old son doesn't want to upset his dad, Suleiman, the 19-year-old kid that lost his life down there.
Yeah, because was that Father's Day?
19. What do you do, dude? Yeah. What are you doing on a sub, bro? What are you doing taking your son on a sub? Knowing it's a bad idea. Knowing
Yeah.
that your son is going to go because he doesn't want to upset you.
Yep.
I just, I get it. I get it. What's the name of that guy? Bezos
Hmm.
wants to go to outer space. I read this one thing. I heard this one thing on TikTok, and it was basically this guy said, "What's up with these rich guys building tubes? Like, what's up with these guys getting in tubes and flying off into space or going into the ocean? Dude, that I mean, they paid $250,000 to get
Yeah.
on that tube, bro.
No.
$250,000 is it's a beautiful house in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, think of for $250,000, what kind of home could you buy in Oklahoma?
I mean, the prices are going up, but there's one right across the street that is it's $220,000, and we're pretty close to downtown, and that's actually like the most expensive of its kind around here. The people who bought it and flipped it, they bought it for like 130 or something like that, and then they just listed it for like almost $100,000 more. We think it's insane.
Wow,
It's
right on.
insane. Like they're totally like scamming whoever's going to move in there, because they spent like 3 weeks on renovations. There's no way they did anything like critical. They just like painted everything and put in new tile or whatever. But yeah, like most kind
Are
of
they from California?
Texas. Most kind of fixer uppers are
Same
like a
thing.
little over $100,000. A really $200,000 will get you a really nice house. Maybe not massive, not like a mansion, but it's going to be in really good condition. It's not going to need a new roof. It's not going to need new plumbing. It's going to look, like renovations happened in the last 10 years. So yeah, $200,000 will get you a really nice house here.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So you're gonna spend that money to go to the bottom of the ocean and lose your life.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got
I mean,
another little
I
tidbit.
don't get it.
No, me neither. First of all, if somebody walked up to me in a bar, like you were mentioning earlier, you're like if somebody walked up to me, like walked up to me in a bar and was like, "Hey, let's go do this dangerous thing," if their name was Stockton Rush, I probably would just say no because that, that sounds like somebody wildly irresponsible and with too much money and not enough sense to me, which turns out to be true. But no, this guy's wife, and I feel bad for her. Obviously, she lost her husband. I don't know what kind of person she is. Maybe she's also somebody who makes poor decisions, but she could be a totally perfectly
Yeah.
normal, fine person. I don't know. But what's interesting is that she is the great great granddaughter of Isidore and Ida Strauss. They're a famous couple who died on the Titanic. So she's now lost like another family member to the Titanic. It's not the first one in her family. So that's just crazy to me.
I don't want to sound like there are these comics. I always do. I always reference stand-ups, but you know, when white people go on vacation or they do these like vacation things, they usually go to these places where they could definitely die. Like, why are you getting out of the car to pet a buffalo, dude? Why are you getting
Yeah.
out of a car to go pet the cub, the little bear? Why why are you parasailing? Why? Oh man, it sounds like fun, man. Bro. But I'm like, okay, dude. So when you hit that rock going 200 miles an hour, you know, because you jumped off a cliff with just a little wingsuit on,
Yeah.
dude, I have, I mean, come on, dude. I have friends that I had a friend named Angelica. She has probably close to 150 skydives, almost I don't know. She's a ton. She's jumped off cliffs. She's jumped off fjords in Norway. She's all that stuff, dude. And one day she saw some guy go splat, and she was like, that's it. I'm done.
Oh my god.
She goes, all I needed was one splat.
Yeah, oh my god.
She's like, that's all I needed. And I'm like, dude,
yeah.
She's like, yeah. She's like, after that, bro, I was like, yeah, I was just like done.
I mean, I guess it's a numbers game, right?
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, because your number's going to come up. Yeah. Your number's going to come up. It's not like you're running around the track trying to break a world record. You know what I mean? It's not like you're trying to catch a. I mean, think about it this way. If you want to do something provocative, dangerous, put on full pads and run down the field on a kickoff in the NFL. Do that.
Yeah.
You want adventure? you want to? Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, you've got a 200. Yeah.
I don't know about the football thing, man, because I played sports in Oklahoma. I got a concussion in football and then I got it made worse in wrestling, and CTE is no joke. So I'm out on the football thing too.
Bro.
Like,
yeah, no. I played football from the time I was 9 until I was 20. And by my third year, going into my junior year, I was like, I'm done. And then a year and a half later, I joined the Marine Corps. And I'm walking through jungles. I'm walking in deserts. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing here? Why did I do this? And it's the same thing. We're full of adventure. We're full of like, I want to see the world. Nah, dude, you really don't need to see the world. You can have fun, but it's no. Honestly, the Marine Corps growing experience, a lot of really cool stuff. But when I remember I'd been in about 2 years and I came back home. A couple of my friends, and I was in civilian clothes, and my friends were like, dude, where you been? I'm like, oh, I've been in the Marine Corps for the last 2 years. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, man. They're like, so we sat down and we talked, and I told them, all about the stuff that I've been doing. And they're like, bro, are you kidding me? I'm like, nah, dude, that's what I've been doing for the last 2.5 years. They're like, dude, I'd love to join the Marine Corps. I'm like, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put yourself in a situation that once you put yourself in that situation, you will not be able to get out of it. That's what those people did when they went to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
They put themselves in a situation that they could not get out of. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what, you got to stack your cards. You got to have the right hand, bro. You don't necessarily have to have the winning hand, but you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You got to go, nah, this isn't going to work. I got to go.
Yeah.
It's like that Bill Burr stand-up when he's like, I'm this white guy who's dating this black chick, and she lives off 120th, like 120th Street up in Harlem. And the further I go into Harlem, the more he's like I start losing my breath, and because he's the only white, I've got this howdy doody like mug me face, you know what I mean? Like he's just like, I'm like, dude, yeah, like why would you? Because you just yeah, dude. I mean, just, and all of a sudden you're in a bad situation, and then you're like why did you go to a party? You shouldn't go to this party. It's out in the woods. It's in the middle of nowhere. You're going with a friend who only knows one person. There's going to be 40 people there. You don't know any of these people. No, dude, I'm not doing that. There's so much more to be said about this. I mean, I get it. These people, What about the 700 people that died off the coast of Greece, bro?
What was the? Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The refugee boat. Yeah,
Yeah. What about them?
yeah.
What about them? You
I
know,
like that Obama actually
I
like
just
took the time to address that.
the world, dude. It's just at some point, you got to figure, man. They come over. I mean, imagine crossing the Atlantic on the Mayflower or whatever. You get here and you take advantage of certain situations if you're a European, and all of a sudden you own some indigenous. You will not own. You ransacked everything in front of you. You basically killed, raped, and pillaged everything in front of you. I mean, I know, I get it. Great adventure. It's all about adventure, right? It's all about. Is it about adventure? Yes, it is. Of course, it is. And all of a sudden, you're looking at all the possibilities, and you're like, okay, you know what? No one owns this land. Well, dude, yeah, we do. We've been here thousands of years. Yeah, but you don't own the land. Like your name isn't on it. But we live here. You know what I mean? Like, so you're just gonna in the name of. So I don't know. You know, is it just me, or is it just people do stupid stuff because they can, and it's all based on money and privilege and notoriety, and oh, look what I did, and now I'm dead. Now I'm dead. It's
Uh,
just like, okay, dude, you know you know continue anymore. We won't. You're fish bait. You're not even fish bait.
no, yeah. There's not really a whole lot left of you.
There's
um,
you're like protoplasm at this point.
yeah, you just return to the universe instantaneously. um, I think that
Wow, dude.
my biggest issue with like why it's so gross to me. I love research, I love science. I think it's neat to like get photographs of like shipwrecks and stuff like that. And this guy Stockton Rush talked about like the research he was theoretically, or he says he was doing, was like mapping stuff out with like lasers and studying how fast the remains of the Titanic degrade, and cataloging exotic and new species that evolve like around the wreck and just at the bottom of the ocean. um, and he says some other crazy stuff about like uh, uh, about the sea being the place that humans are going to flee to. I'll get to that in a second. But like why it's so gross to me is that like he's he's saying that he's combining like legitimate research with endangering the lives of non-professionals who are just doing, and he's marketing this to them, opulent vanity like exotic vacations that are super dangerous. And it's super irresponsible in my mind to like invite people along on dangerous scientific expeditions. Obviously, I mean, obviously, it's super dangerous. It killed these people who this kid. That's the worst of it, is that he had a long life, ahead of him, and it's just gone in a second. But when you have,
19, dude.
yeah, when you have something like that's that risky, and then to play with fire with like, he's quoted as saying, I did not want to hire any boring 50-year-old white guys to design the submersible. They're not inspirational and bring nothing new to the table. And he talks about like,
But that's who
how
you are, though, bro.
right. And he talks about like how he plays loosey goosey. He brags about how loosey goosey he plays with the innovation on the materials, and he claims that they do a lot of testing. In one little like interview on Reddit, he says that he doesn't know of any other submarine with like more safety measures and like monitors to monitor any potential problems with like the pressure and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not true. I mean, I'm sure it was just the repeated diving with this already flawed material. There were just like bigger and bigger hairline fractures or whatever, just flaws that kept getting worse and worse. Um, But like in these interviews, he talks about just some kind of some nutball stuff where he talks about he's just like excited and wide-eyed, and he says that humans are ruining the planet, and one of the only places left that we can survive is to go to the bottom of the ocean where there's the geothermal vents, and there's like living organisms that I guess he wants to eat or something down there. He talks about expecting there to be cities at the bottom of the ocean with humans in them in the future, and it's like, dude, you're giving up on the Earth. You're just saying, fuck it. We're just gonna continue on with like the oil burning and not really worry about reining in or fixing these problems up top. We're just gonna flee to the bottom of the ocean. First of all, obviously, we're not advanced enough yet to just willy-nilly go down there as like tourists and start populating it with regular old people. This stuff still requires like massive research, massive expertise to do it successfully. And even then, there's no guarantee you're coming back. But it's just gross that this guy is using like a for-profit, mega opulent vanity vacation bit, and also at the same time kind of saying, we're just going to give up on the surface of the earth and like trying to fix our problems here or like do better. Let's go to the bottom of the ocean and ruin that now. So just really gross. I was not a fan of reading all of the stuff I saw online about him.
I mean, look, we're never going to be Aquaman. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, there was this series. Oh God, what was it called? It was this about this submarine. I can't remember it, but anyways, I'm not afraid of the water because I've always been on the water. I mean, I grew up on it, and then I was in the Marine Corps, so I was in the water every single day in the Marine Corps, one way or another. Especially the last, 5 years of it, I lived right on the ocean. Like I lived, if you walk out your door, and just imagine there's a sand dune, and you cross the street and go over that sand dune, there was the ocean. That's how close I lived. I lived. I could walk to the ocean in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
We would swim I would boogie board. I boogie boarded 3-4 times a week. I was a reconnaissance Marine. I was in the ocean all the time, not afraid of the water. But I respect the ocean, man. The ocean is no joke, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You want to go surfing, you want to go swimming. Dude, look, if you're not a strong swimmer, don't go jump in the ocean, dude. You'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen it happen. I lived in North Carolina. I lived on Onslow Beach in North Carolina for just a little over 5 years, and I know they pulled so many people out of that water. Every Saturday, every Sunday, the people would come from all over the planet. Atlantic Beach, Onslow Beach, beautiful, beautiful ocean beaches, man, just gorgeous. And once or 2-3 times a month, yeah, you don't look, dude. I don't know who was there any type of like how can I say, did they check anything on that boat, or did they just build it as is and put it in the water?
It had gone on, I think, 4 or 5 runs. That particular vessel had gone on like 4 or 5 dives before down there. So they had tested it in that way, but that's like a really dumb way to test things. He said that he had like technological monitors and stuff on it to monitor the pressure and stuff. But the problem is when you've got like pressure gauges or pressure alert monitors and stuff on your tube, if it starts to register like a problem and you're at depth, you're down by the Titanic, what are you gonna do? So you're warned a little bit early that you're about to implode, I guess. That's not useful at all. I guess like maybe the point of those monitor systems was maybe when you're a little bit more shallow, just to see if there's any issues before you get too deep where you can abort early on or something like that. But it just seems really silly to have to even need them the alert systems at all, because theoretically you should have really good materials that you're not buying like on discount from Boeing. I mean, that's tantamount to like pulling some some material out of Boeing's dumpster behind the Boeing aircraft building. um, you should be using materials that are tested and rated for a long time before you stick, people, paying customers in these tubes. There's really interesting history about airplanes and how they discovered where the flaws would be coming from. Like planes would certain plane I can't remember the most famous one, but I read like a lengthy article on it. A particular plane went down, and the mythology goes that it crashed because there were square windows, and that the weak points were like at the corners of the square windows. But it's not actually true. It had like square windows like visually, but that's not actually how everything was like riveted in and all that underneath like in the actual like structural part of it. What happened was there was like this little kind of hole, like port kind of thing for like the wiring for an antenna, and that little structural weak point failed after so many stresses, like so many uses. They found all the wreckage. They collect well, not at once, but they collected as much wreckage as they could get, and then they kept finding more and more, like floating and washing up and sunk and stuff, until they finally got a pretty good picture of where the stress fractures and everything began and where they spread to. And it was just the massive complexity of the construction of the thing. Too little understanding of those complexities, and too little understanding of how many times you can stress out those materials before they start to fail. There was really interesting data that they learned from this whole event in our avionics kind of history, with figuring out how to manufacture materials to have stress tolerances high enough for like thousands of trips, where they actually messed up with some of these early designs because they thought they were stronger than they really were. What was happening was they were testing them under pressure in like a kind of a lab setting, a safety lab setting, testing facility. They would get them up to pressure and then back off and undo the pressure, and then they would come back and they would do it again. But they would only go like right up to the maximum, or like right near the maximum, and then back away. And they kept doing that over and over and over. And they'd ramp it up eventually, and they'd see how many times they could do it until problems occurred. But here's what was happening: they were actually what's called cold working the metal. So when you cold work a metal as like a metalsmith or structural like engineer that's working with metal, cold working hardens a metal, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes it more able to withstand like pressure, like stress type pressure. So it makes it able to last a lot longer than it would if you just send that tube into the air and it's going through the regular stressors immediately that are like higher than what you're just ramping up and pulling back and ramping up and pulling back. So they actually they over assumed its capabilities in the beginning when we were designing our airplane like tubes to make airplanes out of. So they had to like build that into their whole planning for safety and stuff. And this guy Stockton Rush is going down there with a sandwiching of two materials that people have expressly told him not to: titanium and the epoxy and carbon fiber mixture. And they say don't do the epoxy carbon fiber mixture anyway, because it's light, it's a light material, but it's two different types of materials that are woven in complex ways, which makes just a billion different places where different flaws can occur. And those flaws are like obviously where failure points are gonna gonna come first when you get too much like too much stress over a long period of time. And this guy's going down there with this like super new, to him he thinks great innovation, but it's super untested. And to take that down into the deepest, wreck available as a tourist thing is just beyond irresponsible. It is
Dude,
it's gross negligence.
the lawsuits coming from this, bro.
Yeah.
Someone's about to get sued, brother.
Yep.
Like big time.
Yep.
Like, yeah, dude. You don't look, man. And I hope they have insurance. They got to have insurance. I'm pretty sure they're. I mean, yeah, just, it's hard enough staying alive in this, dude. Look, it's hard enough. Just getting up in the morning and walking out your door is enough.
Yeah.
Hey, man, look, you want to go? No. Do I have to go? Well, no, we're just asking. Well, then I don't want to go. I don't want to go, man. I mean, like, dude, why are you even asking me that? Hey, you want to go on you want to sail around the world? No, man. No, I don't want to sail around the world. Why do I want to sail around the world? Someone answer that. Well, because what? Nah, bro. No, I'm good. I live in Baltimore. That's an ocean unto itself, dude. Baltimore's. I mean, like, there's an adventure. Get on a boat, go to the Titanic, or go to freaking Baltimore. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Both are death wishes.
Yeah. I guess this guy was what's it Ocean Gate Ocean, what's it called?
Ocean Gate.
Ocean Gate. Yeah, they were already being sued though by some previously paid up customers whose trips kept getting pushed back, and so they were suing them for not providing a service because they have a policy of not no refunds. And so they're like, we're not going to refund your $250,000, but we'll reschedule you in the event that we have to cancel or push or whatever your expedition. And these people had paid them money, $250,000, and expeditions just kept getting delayed and delayed and canceled and delayed. I'm like, man, this just sounds like the worst business idea ever. It really does.
Okay, so I want to tell you something. So one day, oh man, it must have been, oh God, it was like it was in the middle. It was a Saturday, like midday, like 1 or 2 o'clock. And I was sitting there watching TV. I was watching the Weather Channel. And what's the name of the energy drink? Red Bull?
Yeah.
They were sponsoring this guy and this spacesuit that. Did you ever see this guy fall out of this gondola, like jump out of this gondola and fall like from like beyond atmosphere all the way down to Earth with the chute opening up?
Mm-hmm.
Sponsored. I saw that live when it happened, dude. Like I just sat back, I was just watching it, and I was just like, whoa, what? Wait, what? Like, whoa. I'm like, and dude, he was spinning 800 miles an hour, dog. Chute opened. He hit the ground. I was just like, holy crap. Like, are you sick? Like, who does that? Who does that?
Yeah.
Who does that? I mean, I don't know, man.
Not me.
No. I'm just going to say this, Pago. You don't see Africans doing that, dude. You don't see people of color doing that. I'm just like there's when I was watching this thing on TikTok, black guy walks up to someone in an office. He's talking to people in his office. He's like, and they're all African American. He's like, he's like, okay, if you see a bunch of African Americans running, what do you do? He's like, they were like, to a man and a woman, they're like, I'm running. If they're running, I'm running. Because it's one thing, dude, it's just, I don't know. I really try to take into consideration each and every person's, I don't know, their environment, how they grew up, where they're from, what their financial situation is, socially, politically, economically, the whole who they are, why they're in this situation, or whatever their mindset is, or their agenda is, or they're just they're whatever they've been predisposed to. I take all of that into consideration, right? When I meet someone, as time goes on, you get to know someone better, right?
Yeah.
But when someone says, I want you to give me $250,000 so I can take you 2.5 miles to the bottom of the ocean to see the Titanic in a vehicle that has not really been tested. And there's no way back up, dude. You said there was no monitoring system, right?
No, there was, but I'm saying it's useless if you're down that deep. Like, what, you're just gonna know you're gonna die. That's it.
Dude, yeah, you're not. You're in a 22-foot tube.
Yeah.
That's all you have. That's all you have around you.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, have you ever jumped in a pool and been like just 11 feet below? Have you ever jumped pool and just been like just swam down to like 10 feet, 11 feet, and feel how much pressure that is?
Yeah, it hurts my ears really
bad.
I
was in Okinawa. Yeah, it really bad. Okay, so I was in Okinawa, right? We go to this place called Green Beach, literally where the sand is like greenish, like it's just because of it's just gorgeous. Anyways, so you could walk out almost. It was absolutely gorgeous, and you'd get to like there's a certain point that you get to, you look out, and that water was dark blue. I mean, it was dark blue. You're just like, turning around. I'm not stepping off that ledge. Nope, sorry. Now, you know what I mean? If you got your fins, your wetsuit, I was in the air wing at this point. I was in MWSG 17. I was at Camp Butler. So, I mean, we were always, like I said, you're in the Marine Corps, you're always in the water. But once I realized, once I went to recon and I was in the water like all the time, I'm like, dude, you don't just, no, man, no. I mean, dude, they've lost nuclear subs down there, dude. Nuclear subs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Gone, like full, just like the ocean just broke it in half.
Yep.
And you're going to go down there. You know what I mean? You're going to go down there in a 22-foot can of soup. You know what I mean? A tin can. That's basically what it was, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Pago.
Yeah. Here's another. No, you're right. Here's another quote that relates to what you're talking about. It just shows that like he was thinking about money and not safety. In fact, he was intentionally foregoing safety in order to try and make money. So this is a quote from him, Stockton Rush. He said, "If you look back at the earlier designs of deep diving submersibles, they weren't focused on market opportunities that led to designs. And that led to designs that were large, bulky, expensive." So he's saying like, he made his tin can and his soup can lightweight and made out of the wrong materials because he was thinking about money. He wanted to fit more people in there. He didn't want all the safety gear. He didn't want all the double measures to make sure people would survive or whatever, to make sure everything was like strong and tested. And he just
Who wants to
he was
survive, dude?
damn. I mean, it's just like it's a parable for like everything that's going on in the world today. The reason everything is fucked is because people like him, opportunists and capitalists, and I get capitalism has done a lot of great stuff. I'm not shitting on all of capitalism, but opportunistic capitalists, the ones who are doing this stuff, foregoing safety measures, foregoing caring about the ramifications of their actions in order to, turn a quick buck. And in this case, a lot of quick bucks. I mean, he bought
That's day one, dude. That's day one.
he bought used, like out of date carbon fiber, and you're not supposed to even use carbon fiber anyway. He didn't put in redundant systems. I mean, who gets on a submarine like that? Like, who would pay for that? It's
I wonder if
insane.
these people. I wonder if these people. Any of these. I wonder if any of the passengers had any clue what this guy was doing. I'm sure they didn't. Well, I'm almost positive that they had no idea
I,
that
I mean,
this
that would kind of be
this
on
didn't
them
all
for not
really.
doing that would kind of be on them for not doing the research because they're like I've been over through the week, like as it was happening I was
Yeah,
just like scrolling around trying to find everything I could. There was a little documentary that some kids put together where they got into a sub, like one of his subs, and he took them down, and there's video of like they used a little game controller, like an off-brand, I don't know if it's off-brand, but it was like a cheap like wireless controller to pilot that sub. During this little like event, they found out that it dawned on them that the sub wasn't moving in the right way, it was barely moving. They figured out that they had installed one of the turbines backwards. First of all, when you're in a submarine underwater and you find out the engine was installed. One of the engines was installed the wrong way. That I lose a lot of confidence right there. And so their solution was to like come up with a plan to use the controller in an orientation that would make it make more sense for them to reverse the way the engine works, like on the controller. So they just basically turned it like 90 degrees to make it make more sense for them. And you're like watching this like on a little documentary that's on YouTube that's been up for a couple of years now. So anybody who paid $250,000 just had to like Google the guy to find out that they've fucked up in the past. There's zero chance you're like if I'm gonna risk my life for some reason, like if somebody offered me one of those rocket rides, like rocket ship rides, like Bezos or whatever, there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to consider it because I've always been like a space nerd. I love I was in space camp as a kid for many years, and I was a counselor at space camp for a couple years. I just really enjoy that kind of stuff, like the thought of getting somewhat close to being an astronaut, even if it's like a tourist astronaut, really appeals to me. But it kind of makes me a hypocrite because I am disgusted at all this like opulent kind of Instagram type like show offy tourism for rich people. I hate it, but like I would Google the shit out of these people and their safety measures and their track record. And the second I find anything that suggests they don't know what they're doing, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not going up. And this guy, he had plenty of like really crazy quotes that make me suspicious. He bought that used material from Boeing. His crew or he installed an engine backwards and had to figure that out while they were at depth. I mean, just too many things. I don't know who's been paying this guy $250,000, but not the brightest people.
imagine you're on that. Imagine you're on that ship, dude. Imagine you're on that submersible, and in about 3, 2, 1, it's over. like you know it's over, like, and you don't feel anything.
Mm-mm. Just lights out, just blackness, no consciousness anymore.
Nah, dude.
Oh God.
Nope. No, no, bro. I've been a lot of places and done a lot of things, and I remember when they were like I volunteered to go to jungle environmental survival training, dude. I didn't volunteer to go to just. I mean, I volunteered. Like, probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and one of the
Yeah.
scariest.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Seriously, yeah, it was not cool. It was not cool at all. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't volunteer to go to Ford Observer School. I volunteered to go in the Marine Corps. I didn't volunteer to go to embassy duty school, but I learned a lot. What I learned was don't ever volunteer. Ever,
Yeah.
ever. That's what you
Yeah.
learn in the Marine Corps. Don't volunteer, dude. You don't. Why? 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 When people. Okay, so check this out. Friend of mine, one of her friends, one of her girlfriends, and her boyfriend and her girlfriend's boyfriend went on this hike, and she's like, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Why not? We're gonna pitch a tent, stay overnight." I'm like, "I'm not going." She's like, "Just like, dude, I'm not." They get up there, right? Half day. They're into it a half day. I think it's like they're up in the LA mountain, like right above Los Angeles. And they hear this low level. You can hear a mountain lion. You can hear, how they breathe.
Ooh.
You can hear the
Yeah.
low level breathing of a mountain lion. She's like,
Oh.
she's like, we got tracked by a mountain lion. Oh yeah, dude. From the time, like halfway up. She's like, we turned around, came back down the hill. It tracked us all the way to our car. We got to our car. We turned around. We could see it I'm like, dude, I don't do that. I'm like, I don't. Dude, I'm like, you got black bears up there. You've got coyotes up. I lived in the desert, bro. Okay, I know what it's like. I remember the first time I went on a run, and my stepson Jamal goes, "Where you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go on a run." He's like, "Why would you do something like that?" I'm like, "Because it's beautiful." He's like, "Dude, you don't want." He goes, "It's like 5 o'clock." I'm like, "Yeah, but if the sun's about to," I'm like, he's like, "You don't want to go run right now." I'm like, "Dude, whatever." I didn't even listen to whatever else. I start running, and then I come back and I hear I'm out about a mile and a half. I turn around. I'm out about a mile and a half. I turn around and I hear yipe, 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 yipe. It's coyotes, dude.
Oh.
Tracking
Yeah.
me.
No.
This is in Lucerne Valley. This is. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's real, dude. It's real, dude. I'm walking down. I'm walking down. I'm in South Park. I'm walking down to oh, what was the name of the place? What was the bar? Not the Whistle Stop. The other one that was at the end down there. The guy that the one guy bought. He bought it out. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm standing at the top of the sidewalk, and I see this coyote. There's this cat sitting on the porch. This dude just comes up so chill. Picks the cat up by the neck, gone. I'm like,
Oh my
nah,
God.
dude, no, that's why I don't. I'm not trying to. Yeah, dude, like I'm not. No, no, no. I like my friends. My friends here, they're like, oh man, we got bear. I'm like, bro, I live in the city of San Diego, and there are cougars, there are bears, and they're like in the city. I'm like, in the city. They're like you guys have mountain lions. Yeah, dude, in the city. We have coyotes all over the place in the city. They're like, get out of here. I'm like, bro, they're like everywhere. They live there. And it's
Yeah.
just like, you know, so yeah, I mean, when you're contemplating, you need to be, first of all, you need to have your Jeep, you need to have your 4Runner, you need to have that kind of vehicle. You need to have it tricked out so you could sleep in it. Okay. You know, when I see these guys with the nice, you know, the nice thing, the nice tent on top of the roof, and you know, isn't this beautiful? I'm like, nah, dude. I'm like, a bear will rip that apart.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
raccoons smell, dude. That's the last thing you want. Is 2 or 3 raccoons, bro? I know. I've been there. Dude. When I was in the Marine Corps, we'd be out in the field, like on these survival training deals. We would kill snakes. We'd eat snake. You know, like, hey, here's your knife. Here's a canteen. See ya. Be gone for 3 or 4 days. Catch what you eat. Eat what you catch.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, bro. No. I'm not getting on anything. Unless it's real, and I know I have to vacate the planet.
Right.
I know I have to leave.
Right.
It's the only reason that I'm leaving. Yeah. If the planet's doomed and I can get some loved ones on you know. But nah, dude. No. Dad, are you sure you want to go on this trip? Yeah, son, it's Father's Day. This will be great. You and I can bond on the way down.
Oh, they bonded like each other's atoms.
Okay.
Truly.
Oh, dude.
Oh man.
Proton to proton, dude. Dude, I bet that kid was so scared. I mean, the minute they plopped in the water, I bet he's like, "What am I doing?"
Well, the worst is they bolt.
Why am I doing this?
They bolt the door, so like from the outside. So that's when you know when he got terrified, is when you hear like zzz, 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 and you're just locked in there now. No going back.
Can't get out.
Mm-mm. Nope.
God, man. I mean, it's okay. Look, getting on a plane and flying, dude. I've been on a ton of helicopters, a ton of birds. I've had the back end of a bird go like this, the tail just doing this, get up over the ocean, and it's like, and you're like, yeah, dude, yeah, and you're just like, and you get back, you know, it lands, but dude, yeah, no, I've been hooked. I've you know what spy rigging is, right? When you're hooked to the bird with yeah, just look up spy rigging.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't need anything else.
Spy
Yeah,
rigging.
dude, I don't need anything else.
Spy rigging. All right. So, oh crap. Yeah, that looks very dangerous. What?
Yeah. I was a 50 cal gun team leader, dude.
Wow.
50 cal, big old gun. Yeah, I'm you know, nah, bro. I'm, you know, like, you know, that's why I would say by probably the next month or two, look up. Let me see if I can find it. Look up this rifle, Marlin. A Marlin. Let me see, Marlin rifles. Merlin, is it
45?
Marlin
70?
Firearms. Yeah. It's the
22.
Let's see
Let's see. Yeah, they make a couple different things. Some look like shotguns. Some look like rifles.
look at the one that's the lever action.
Yeah. I see a bunch of lever actions. They look like kind of like modernized old west looking kind of things.
That's they come with scopes. These, you see the silver ones, gray ones.
Yeah.
These things will put a bear down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's probably what I'm probably going to buy a couple of those here. Oh yeah, Oh yeah,
got it. Yeah,
you don't need. See, people like, oh, I need an AR-15. Nah, you just need one round, one well placed round, dude. That's all you
yeah,
need. And I know how to fire, bro. With and if I had put a scope on that bad boy, it's over.
yep,
It's over. You know, dude.
yep.
In the Marine Corps, the way they teach you how to fire, you set up your windage, and you set your scope up, and you fire, dude, through a scope, right through that little hole, right, and I mean, from 500 meters, dude, you can hit 9 out of 10 with that M16.
That's
M16
crazy.
is an amazing rifle. The A3, it's just ridiculously. It's just no kick. But it'll send a round down range on your ass, bro. Just ping, because it'll bounce off everything in your body. It'll like hit you in your hip and like come out your armpit.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
dude. They're it really is, dude. Yeah, that's why when people are like blah blah blah, let's go. Hey man, let's go to. Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm just gonna. First thing is like, hey man, you want to go to blah blah blah? I'm like, where is it? Well, it's blah blah blah. I'm like, well, how many people are gonna be there? I don't know, maybe 30. Well, do you know any of these people? Well, the person that invited me. Well, who is he? Well, he's a friend of mine from work. Well, so we're going to a party. We're gonna go to a party in La Mesa. Uh, to a friend's house, and there are 30 more people that you don't know, and he's going to be the only one you know. And we're going to go to that party. I'm not going. I said that to one of my friends. They're like, "Are you serious, dude?" I'm like, "No way, bro." I'm like, "I'm not going." I'm lying in bed. Get a phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning. She's standing on the corner, some corner, on the other side of the 805. Some guy dropped her off in
Ugh.
freaking oh yeah, dude. So I had to get up at 4 in the morning, drive down there, pick her up. I'm like, what happened, dude? She's like, dude. She's like, I barely got out of there. I'm like, are you serious? She lived in I'm like, dude, you're just gonna come stay at my place, dude. I'll sleep on the couch. She's like, thanks, bro. So she's like, yeah. So we wake up the next morning. I'm making breakfast and blah blah blah. I'm like, what happened? She's like, well, I got there, everything was cool, and bunch of freaking basically a bunch of rednecks. I'm like, I told you, dude, you're in La Mesa. You're you're in East County. You're in like I'm not going out. And I just say all that, but in my head,
Oh, I think you're cutting out. You're cutting out for me anyway. You're like frozen. I don't know if you can hear me at all. Oh, you're live again. Okay. Can you wait?
did you lose me?
Yeah, I lost you for a second. I lost you for a second. You just froze. It looks like you're back though. I can hear like
I can yeah. Uh, I can see you. I can cut this out. But anyways, I can edit it. But anyways, so she's like, I'm like, so what happened? She's like, dude, the party was cool. Everything was cool. She's like, around 11:30, people started, everyone was bong hits and a lot of drinking. And I'm like, and then she goes, just all of a sudden, it just got ugly, dude. Like she goes like that,
fights or like
and I'm
they
like,
were trying to do
wow.
stuff to her.
Well, just to each other, to fights and
Yeah.
yelling and just inopportune, just She goes, it was just people not being cool, you know.
Yeah.
So she's like, I asked my buddy, I'm like, hey man, you want to go? And he's like, oh man, I'm having a good time, blah 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 blah. So one thing led to another. He's too drunk to drive. She has to hold him up, get him to the car, drop him off in the middle of like, oh God. So if you're on University and you're in North Park, all the way down University down by like University down in La Mesa.
Yeah.
So I had to drive down by like Planet Fitness in La Mesa. And it like 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. Cops everywhere.
Yeah,
know?
of course.
Here I am, a black guy in a brand new freaking Honda. You know, I'm just like, so I pick her up. I'm like, dude. She's like, I'm sorry. So I get her, and then she's just like, dude, I won't do that. I'm like, I told you this. She's like, I know. You told me so. You told me so. Yeah, you can tell me. You told me so. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you that I told you so, but I told you so. And we started cracking up. I'm just glad. I told her, I'm just glad you're all right, dude. You know, like, because that could have been gnarly. She's like, you have no idea. She's like, because she's the thing is that she's one of the coolest people on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, she's like uber cool, like just ridiculously cool person. She's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm like, are you done? She's like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. She's like, I think this was like 3 years ago, just before COVID.
Yep.
And she's like, at that time she was what, 39, 40 years old. She's like, I can't do this anymore, man. I can't do this anymore. I mean, he was the guy that I think he was like 26, 27. I'm like, what are you doing? Go to a party with some bunch of 20-year-olds, dude? She's like, well,
Nope.
you know. I'm like, nah, dude, I can't do that. You know, because I don't look my age, and I'm not going to lie about my age. And the moment they find out how old I am, I'm like, nah, dude, no. I just don't have time for that stuff, dude.
No.
Well, needless to say, the moral of this story is don't get on a sub, don't go to a party, don't go to something you know. No, go ahead. I mean, you know you shouldn't go. You know you shouldn't go.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the song.
There are things you just don't do.
Yeah, I was gonna say the song for the day, like the moral of the lesson is don't get on a sub, but the song for the day is don't go chasing waterfalls, right? By TLC. Like you know what I'm talking about, right? The '90s song. Don't go. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like welcome to old people chat where we're like, don't do anything fun ever again. Yeah, I am done as well with like going out to random parties. Random parties not for me anymore.
No, bro. No. Well, bro, you know, we're gonna be playing at the blah 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 blah. I'm not going, dude. There's a buddy of mine. He's like, hey man, I'm doing check this out. I'm doing a stand-up open mic night in off DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to D.C. and leaving out of there at 11 o'clock. No, dude, no. Like, I live in Baltimore, bro. It's dude, come on. Like, people, no, dude, no. What am I doing out at 11 o'clock at night in Washington?
Yeah.
In Washington, D.C. Why would I be out at 11 o'clock? Give me a reason. Or we could, you can stay at I'm not staying at your place, dude.
Nope.
So I can get up in the morning and have to deal with you? No. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. I'm 64, homie. So are you. What are you doing? Jesus Christ. Anyway. God rest their souls. You know.
Yeah.
Dude, the dark. Dude. Talk about the darkness.
Yeah.
You know, and the souls that they're connected with down there, dude.
Yeah.
Woo, brother. Nah, I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
I'm like, my mom and I were talking about it yesterday, and she was like, I'm like, yeah, you guys can just, spread me out over the ocean. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't want to be stuck underground, dude. I don't want to be stuck in some coffin. Like that. No, just burn my ass up and just spread me. I'm like, you can spread me out over the desert. I don't care where you spread me. Just don't put me in the ground, dude. Just don't do that. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Or you want to put my ashes up there on the put it on the yeah, dude. But don't put me in the ground.
Yeah.
I don't want I don't you know I don't know. I'm just God bless their souls.
Yeah.
Whomever you pray, they're 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 they've met their maker, and their solitude is real, and their faith is something that they can, pardon the pun, swim in. But yeah, yeah, man. So this was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I hate
Oh, dude,
that, like,
one more thing. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I hate that it was something so
No, go ahead.
awful
Go
and
ahead.
stupid, something so awful and stupid and avoidable that brought this topic about for us. But we have to talk about things like that too. And yeah, it's topical. We had to get to it. This was too big a
Yeah.
story not to talk about it.
Well, think of, think about one more thing. Think about all the people out there, and I heard this a lot, just in the research that I did. A lot of people out there were like, dude, these guys have $250,000 to lose their lives, and I can't even pay rent. I can't even buy food.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Like
That's true. Yeah.
I can't even buy clothes for my kids. Like at least once or 2 to 3 times a week, I don't eat dinner so my kids can eat dinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Dude, how many people go hungry in this country? How many people are starving right now?
Yep.
Not able to eat. I mean, literally not able to eat.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't have the time. They don't
Yep.
have the money. They don't have they're working 100 hours a week just to pay for rent. Forget about food.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and the food is expensive and the clothes are expensive because there's record profits for all of the companies. Meanwhile, all these people are struggling, and it's not going to get better.
And it's got nothing to do with inflation, dude. This has nothing to do with inflation. This is
No.
all about greed. Like we're in
Yeah.
the last stages of we're what do they call it, in stages of capitalism?
Late stage capitalism.
Because there's got to be late stage capitalism. So there's got to be someone said something like, well, we've got to come up with a solution. I'm like, dude, the solution is grow your own food.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Buy your property, but you're going to have to build community. That's what, dude, there are only 8 billion people on the planet. There's so much room on this planet, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the thing is that people are going to start, a lot of this, soon, the population is going to get smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to get bigger. It's going to get smaller. And I think we're already seeing that. Anyways, this was good.
It was good.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, thanks for
I'm gonna put
hanging
this
out
one-
and chatting.
Put this one in the annals.
Good. Anybody who got to an hour and 19
Any-
minutes, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Are you there? Okay, yeah. All right.
Deuces.
Thanks. Peace out, everybody.